What's going on, everyone? So earlier, the Los Angeles Lakers ended up losing Dorian Finney-Smith. He ends up signing a 4-year deal worth about $13 million a year to the Houston Rockets, and the Los Angeles Lakers lose a legit, versatile, two-way, 3-and-D style wing that would have been incredibly impactful as he was last year, right? Yes, he wasn't a guy that was giving you, 18 a night, but he was a guy that was a real Swiss Army knife out there for the Lakers, defend multiple positions, literally 1 through 5, was the Lakers' best plus-minus guy, night in and night out, even through the playoffs, because he was just so versatile. He's a veteran that has kind of been there and done that. And yet the Lakers, we see, are trying to get out and the athleticism out on the perimeter. I did a whole video on the Dorian Finney-Smith element of it. Go check out that video after this video because the Lakers just got their Dorian Finney-Smith replacement. And this is one that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, right? Because Lakers Nation ended up doing an interview with Jake Laravia, and he was with Austin Reaves. And Austin Reaves talked about how, hey, I'm putting in a good word. And lo and behold, Jake Laravia is now officially a Los Angeles Laker. So, free agent forward Jake Laravia has agreed to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Sources tell ESPN. Laravia had a strong finish after joining the Sacramento Kings last season. And then Shams also provided an update. Fully guaranteed deal for Jake Laravia in Los Angeles, negotiated tonight by agent Aaron Riley and Reggie Berry of AMR Agency. Look, this is a great pickup. Now, look, the loss of Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't want to undersell. I don't, right? Because Jake Laravia is a young, athletic, versatile, legit 3-and-D wing. He's got great size, can slot in basically 2 through 4 for you on any occasion. He's a guy that I think is going to be very good for the Lakers, especially slotted alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic. He's a guy that can be a legit two-way guy, play some defense, hit the open shot, knock down the 3-ball. Like Shams said, he had a really good end to his season with Sacramento. He was averaging, I think, like 18 during a stretch towards the end. But very good, young, quality player. This is the type of things that the Lakers are trying to get. Young, athletic, versatile wings, right? He's 23 years old. He'll be 24 about a month into the season. Great. And we're going to dive into Jake Laravia a little more here and kind of break him down further. But again, I don't want to undersell the loss of Dorian Finney-Smith. It hurts. However, if the Lakers now go and get DeAndre Ayton, you sign Jake Laravia, and I talked about it depends on what happens with that loss. You lose Dorian Finney-Smith. That hurts. That sucks, especially since you gave up 3 seconds to go and acquire him. But what do you pivot to? Losing Dorian Finney-Smith frees up the full mid-level, frees up the biannual, frees up a couple things for the Lakers, gives the Lakers more flexibility as far as trades and signings and stuff. If now the Lakers have the full mid-level exception, because Laravia is getting $6 million a year. Now, since he's getting $6 million a year, is this something where the Lakers lose Dorian Finney-Smith, but land DeAndre Ayton and Jake Laravia under the full mid-level in place of Dorian Finney-Smith? Because where is that $6 million? How are they going to structure that? My guess is that'll go into some of the full mid-level exception. Also, DeAndre Ayton got more money out of the buyout than was originally thought. They thought that he was going to take about $15 million less, which would give you basically make it up on the full mid-level exception. However, he ended up getting $25.5 million, so actually $5 million more than people thought, or $5.5 million more than people thought he was going to get, and supposedly he's willing to take slightly less than the full mid-level exception to sign with the team, preferably the Lakers, right? Chris Baines, Chris B. Haynes even said that that it's more likely going to be Ayton. We'll see. Nothing's done until it's done. So, again, if the Lakers basically lost Dorian Finney-Smith but got Jake Laravia, a 23-year-old athletic, versatile wing, and DeAndre Ayton, perfect. I am more than happy. That is beautiful. Chef kiss, right? Because you basically turned Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a 32-year-old, again, very impactful player, into a 23-year-old athletic, versatile, two-way wing and a legit starting center that's probably the best starting center that the Lakers could possibly get. Yes, there's some risk in DeAndre Ayton, no doubt about it. But this was if that's what ends up happening here, right? And they basically use some of him into the full mid-level plus an Ayton, then Lakers are in great shape, right? Now that was worth it. So we'll see how it all gets structured. Lakers are probably going to sign their guys, get everybody, and then structure it however they need to structure it, right? They can always waive a Shake Milton to clear a little extra money. There's ways to go about it if you're the Lakers. So not worried about the Lakers finding that answer, right? But what does Jake Laravia bring to the Lakers, right? That's the big question. What type of player is he? What can he do? Is it worth the sign and acquisition? Yes, it was very likely that we were going to sign him, but is he a guy that is valued to the team? Well, it's a 6'8", versatile wing, like I said, that can slot in 3, slot in 4. He can even, I think, play the 2 because of his shooting ability. He's 235 pounds, so he's got good size to him. You see some guys that are like, 215, 220, and they're are 6'7", 6'8". No, he's a guy that has 235 weight, 240, somewhere in that range. So he's a guy that can be physical, be out there on the perimeter doing multiple things. He's a guy that, again, gives you some real type of offense, defense, and he is athletic. He's actually a very athletic player, which is good because Lakers need some athleticism. This also you could look at as a Rui replacement too, right? If the Lakers end up trading, because I think now with the loss of a Dorian Finney-Smith, I think the Lakers will probably go, especially if they get Ayton. Because if you get Ayton, now you don't need to go answer the center position with the Trey. So now you're going and try to get, an Andrew Wiggins or something like that. So I could see something where it's like we lose Doe, you get Ayton, you get Laravia, maybe bring in DeAnthony Melton still. Boom, you got those 3 guys, and then you're going and trading for like an Andrew Wiggins or something like that. That's kind of how I could see this maybe shaping up. And to me, that'd be an absolute home run for the Lakers. Like that would be fantastic for the Lakers. But last year, between Memphis and Sacramento, I'll go over the year stats and then I'll break down the 2, but played in 20.4 minutes per game, got 5.1 field goal attempts. He got 5.1 at both places. So, it literally is 5.1 average between both teams, but that's because he was 5.1 with Memphis, 5.1 with Sacramento. Field goal range on the season, 47.5%. From 3-point range on 2.2 attempts was 42.3%. He is a career 37% 3-point shooter on just under 3 attempts. He, for the season on 2-point range, was 51.3% on 3 attempts, 56.4% EFG. Free throw shooting, he is a career 75% free throw shooter, but between both teams was 67.8%. So we need him closer to that previous year in Memphis where he was 83% on 3 attempts. It was also, outside of his rookie year, the fewest amount of attempts that he got in 1.7. So maybe that's something. But he averaged 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, a steal, half a block, and 7 points per game between both teams. His best 3-point percentage was with Memphis, where he shot 44.4% on 2 attempts. With Sacramento, he took just under 3 attempts for 38.5%. So even the 38.5% is good. It's not like, obviously if he could get back to 44%, which you got to keep in mind, he's going to be playing and slotted alongside a Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reaves, who are going to be opening things up for him and making plays for him. So the quality of looks that he's going to get now are unlike anything that he's gotten before, right? On any of the teams, Sacramento and the Memphis Grizzlies. So this is a huge pickup for him. And then overall field goal percentage with Memphis was 49%. With Sacramento was 43.8%. 2-point range was 51.7% with Memphis, 50% with Sacramento. But like I said, kind of got more of an expanded role. Had to create for himself a little more, things like that, which I don't think he'll have to do for the Lakers right now. He'll kind of just play that 3-and-D slot-in role for the Lakers. But you look at his per 36. Per 36 with Memphis would have been 13 points, just round up 8 rebounds, 5 assists, just under 2 steals and a block per game. With Sacramento, it was 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2 steals, and half a block per game. So this is a guy, again, gives you some defense, gives you some versatility out there on the perimeter, gives you some size, some strength. He's a guy that is, again, 23 years old. He's very young, so there's plenty of upside and potential. So I'm fine with the Lakers bringing him in for a, just like 2-year, full guaranteed, right? He's 25 years old, kind of gives you time to see how does he look alongside a Luka Doncic. I'm not going to lie, I would have tried to sign him longer, right? Could you have signed him to a 4-year deal? Or maybe that's something he wasn't willing to do because he wants to kind of go prove himself, right? And maybe get that bigger payday. But it would have been nice to kind of like, because again, he's plenty of room for growth. He's 23 years old, right? We could have drafted him in this year's draft in the second round, right? Like our draft pick was 21 years old, right? So he's a guy that has experience, that has been good since coming to the league, that I do think would be a rotation player, would actually play a big role. Would have been nice if we could have gotten him a little longer and even fully guaranteed all 4 years. I would have been fine with that, right? At $6 million a year, it's a low risk, high reward type of move, type of play. But nonetheless, I think that this was just a really solid, really good pickup for a team in the Los Angeles Lakers. Again, it's just what is next? What's the next move? What's the next play that the Lakers end up pulling off? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.